The woman is the first to go into a vacuum. For the sake of performance, she directly pulled the skirt up by 7 cm.
喂，老板，看有没有喜欢的小姐，可以自己选。
你先来啊。
还好。
Xiaoji with beautiful appearance and exquisite figure. Soon after, the boss took a fancy to her. He skillfully serves customers, plus a few sweet talk offensives. Win the boss's peace of mind in a moment, willing to tip a few $100. But the more money you give, the guest's behavior towards Xiaoji is also becoming more and more presumptuous. He subconsciously dodged hard, but the work never ended. Because the current lady, urgent need for money, to support myself and my 10-year-old son. Although Xiaoji has done everything possible to let a man's hand, or always stick to yourself and don't take it away. Xiaoji, who can't bear it, can only make an excuse to go to the bathroom. However, I just drank too much alcohol. Xiaoji, who is dizzy, the path collapsed directly into the stairwell. In a trance, the hotel attendant, Awei, appeared in front of him. He also directly gave my sister to Xiaoji. He subconsciously accepted. But just as Jay was about to drink the hangover medicine, the man actually kissed him directly. Instantly carried the awake Xiaoji. Just push the man down. Then get up and run away. Unreasonable treatment over and over again. Let Xiaoji's heart always hold fire. From the moment you enter the house, I was shattered by my son who was doing his homework.
你看我，漂亮吗？哎，很多人都说你妈妈很漂亮。哎，小安，妈妈漂不漂亮啊？妈妈漂不漂亮这句话这么难吗？
The young son knows nothing. Not only did he not reply a word, and they did their homework. Miss who has lost her nature. I can only sit alone on the sofa. The anger inside is also aroused little by little.
我看你到底在写什么？我看你到底在写什么？我看。
The son who hears the call slowly walks into his mother, but the summary of the book orders. Xiao Han endorses him.
动物的心声。然后嘞，阿宙不是说你很会，成绩很好，第1名。动物的心声。然后嘞，你背给我妈妈听啊。
The mother's voice grew louder and louder. The son on the side was also completely terrified, still dare not say a word, even hide in the house in fear. But his mother didn't let him go. Reading the text louder and louder, he started cursing at his son.
王宗翰，妈妈都是因为你，都是因为你，我都是因为你。如果不是因为你，妈妈不会变成这样。如果不是因为你，妈妈现在不会坐在这边。如果不是因为你，都是你，王宗翰。如果不是因为你，妈妈真的不会变成现在这样。我太错了。
Ha 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 continue his crying and complaining. Let Han think it's his fault. That led to the tragic ending of my mother today. Finally, he summoned the courage to come out. Trembling with poetry, then he gave his mother a big hug. Until it does, it can be regarded as completely comforting the mother to sleep. In fact, this is the case for Xiao Han. It has long been commonplace. He is powerless to accept every time the negative emotions released by the mother. But what Han doesn't know is, mothers are actually carrying a lot. Young Jay. The little man was born full of expectations, but when the baby was born, her boyfriend abandoned Xiaoji's mother and son. Xiaoji, who is no way back, can only take it to my hometown. The child let my grandmother raise the city to work and make money. But what Xiaoji didn't expect was no degree in job skills. He has hit a wall everywhere in his job search, with more and more debt and rent on the wall. Xiaoji in desperation. That's what a woman technician does. Even if this kind of work is looked down upon by you can earn money to support the little man. Xiaoji sits and works day after day, and Zhao Han is also accompanied by his grandmother, growing day by day. But what Xiaoji didn't flirt with was due to their own work. Inadvertently revealed to Lao Kun, who is older than himself. After meeting a few times, the two talked happily. Here's the thing. Lao Kun not only doesn't care about Xiaoji's divorce identity, he also claims that he will definitely treat his son well. So Xiaoji, who considered everything, quit your job for a man. Peace of mind at home in front of a housewife. He also decided to bring his son with him.
小汉，小汉，大家过完哈，来接妈妈去。
Xiaoji with the child. After visiting his room with Lao Kun, he took his son to see Lao Kun. The remote control car your uncle gave you.
小汉，赶快跟叔叔说谢谢啊！谢谢。
谢谢，客气不客气。
Forget it, can also took the initiative to ask Han to eat steak a few degrees close. Make Xiaohan very restrained and nervous, but for mom's sake, still expressionlessly attaching. However, Xiaoji looked at such a harmonious scene. I actually think my son likes it very much. A firm decision to stay with the old. After eating, 3 people started shopping like this. Xiaoji keeps trying on new clothes. Still happy as for asking my son's opinion.
那你觉得怎么样？
什么怎么样？
我是说你喜不喜欢阿坤叔叔？
我不知道。
Son's ambiguous attitude makes Xiaoji very puzzled. Lao Kun, who is calm. In order to show himself and Xiaoji determination to be together, I bought him a house directly. A series of selfless giving stones. Xiaoji thinks he has found true love again. The idea of getting married soon after spa. After the matter was raised, Lao Kun's attitude towards Xiaoji changed only 180 degrees. Not only is he no longer attentive to Xiaoji, and the son is also full of disgust. Xiaoji, who understood that something was wrong, chased after the man is reluctant to answer. Until Xiaoji's news of her pregnancy forces men everywhere. Lao Kun is now about having a family. Say it however Xiaoji in love ... But he hugged Lao Kun and didn't want to let go. In the end, the man still leaves himself. Although Xiaoji is very sad. But when I think of the life expenses that Xiao Han will need in the future, it's late to blame men for their work. As expected, Xiaoji threw himself into the business of female technicians again. Busy until late at night every day. He sat at the intersection as usual, waiting for the bus. But unusually, the former male waiter actually went straight forward.
我送你回去。
我自己会回去的。
I really can't refuse. I can only let myself be taken home. Obviously, Xiaoji understands men's admiration and liking for him, but she has been hurt many times. Or choose to seal your heart again. Unwilling to respond. However, men pursue themselves reluctantly. Then she would wait for Xiaoji to pick her up from get off work every time. He kept saying he loved her. I can't stand Xiaoji, who is so in love. He agreed to be with a man in a daze. Little do you know, Awei has already paid attention to Xiaoji's body. The two who have been together since then, living a very entertaining and extravagant life every day. Love at Xiaoji's house all day long can lengthen over time. The original novelty is burned out. To people without financial resources, only sacrifice in the end. Xiaoji earns money as a female technician for others at home.
你今天怎么比较紧？
Also, Awei counted the money in his hands. After looking at the trees correctly, just happily send the man out. He even asked the guests to come back when they had time. I don't care what Xiaoji goes through at work. An increasingly indifferent attitude let Xiaoji slowly realize the problem. First, he threw his money on the table, and I said nothing.
你又怎样？你嫌脏吗？
我不能把钱放在我家的桌上。
那你干嘛用丢的？欠你的。
这我的钱我不能用丢的。
你又在不爽什么？我怎么？我哪里得罪你？
看起来我不爽吗？
我已经为了你，我9天都不能去上班。你他妈的，我每天帮你扣客，你爽干就干，不爽干你在那边唧唧歪歪耶。
你有想过如果小汉看到怎么办吗？好吗？
你这边把他送回山上啊！
Xiaoji's bottom line has been completely trampled. For the sake of the child, he directly quarreled loudly with Awei, claiming that their children must be raised by themselves. And I've kicked men out more than once. Unexpectedly, non-stop verbal attacks come from hands and feet. It directly angered Awei. He gained a lot of strength around him, ready to knock Xiaoji to the ground. Who dropped the bell for a second but suddenly rang. Xiaoji rushed to Xiao Han's house to protect his son. But Awei, who reacted, knocked loudly on the door. Xiaoji and his son hid inside. Without saying a word, there is no way Awei can only show an apology. He also indicated that he would change, even kneeling outside the door. Constant regret makes Xiaoji completely soft. Jing subconsciously opened the door. The moment the door handle is opened, he was strangled by Awei, dragged into the room, locked the door. Miserable cries filled the room. A moment later, the scarred Xiaoji was spread out on the bed, but Avi on the other side is on. Xiaoji earns a car with sweat. Xiaoji hates the man in front of him. I also regret the decision to be with him in the past. All kinds of complex emotions continue to flow. He is afraid that men are bullying his children. It's too late to see the injuries on your body. That afternoon, I decided to send my son Xiao Han back to his hometown.
妈，难道灵气要做偏后吗？
Ken Xiaoji pushed his son's hand away, then turned away. Xiao Han is riding a long train. It took a day and a night. He went back to his grandmother's side again. The two walked the forest path together, even in the fog. Xiao Han will not be afraid of the road ahead, because my grandmother is always by my side. It's even enjoyable to watch the geese with the back. But unfortunately, grandmother soon after died of a heart attack. Jack, who heard the news, came. And what's even more incredible is, accompanying him is Awei. Xiao Han looked at the man who hit his mother not long ago. He was so terrified that he couldn't say a word. I don't understand. Why is a mother still with a man? And there's a yellow paper burning in my hand, bullying grandma. In fact, since Xiao Han met his mother, never really happy. And so does Xiaoji. He keeps looking for love, disappointed in love again. The two of them are alike. A person who is desperately needy and looking
Another
for love.
person
was born who was in desperate need of care. And the end result can only be no one is so happy.